Picture your life as a blank canvas, untouched and waiting for your hand. Every choice, every thought, every moment is a stroke of the brush. Some strokes will be deliberate, others impulsive, but all contribute to the picture you are painting. The beauty of this process lies not in perfection, but in creation itself. There is no right or wrong way to paint your life, there is only your way. You see, many people live as though their canvas has already been painted by others, parents, society, expectations. They carry the weight of other people's brushes and forget that the canvas belongs to them. To rebuild yourself is to reclaim the canvas, to wipe away the smudges of doubt, fear, and conformity, and start anew. It is not an act of destruction, but one of courage and liberation. It is the acknowledgement that you are the artist, always capable of reimagining the picture. Do not be afraid of bold colors or sweeping lines. Great masterpieces are not created by timid hands. Take risks. Experiment. If one stroke doesn't feel right, paint over it and begin again. This is the essence of life. It's fluid, forgiving, and endlessly malleable. Nothing is ever truly final unless you decide it to be. The joy is in the act of creating, not in the finished product. Think of how nature paints itself. The sky doesn't worry about whether its clouds are perfectly shaped. The ocean doesn't stress about the symmetry of its waves. Yet their beauty is undeniable. You, too, are part of this same universe, where the greatest works come from flowing freely, without hesitation. Rebuilding yourself is an invitation to embrace the artist within, to let go of past mistakes and start fresh. It is not about erasing who you were, but layering your experiences to create depth and richness. Every stroke matters, both the light and the dark, because they make the final painting uniquely yours. Celebrate the imperfections, for they add character and authenticity. So pick up your brush with confidence and paint with passion. Let your life burst with colors, textures, and shapes that reflect your innermost self. This is your masterpiece, and the world is waiting to see the brilliance you bring to it. Imagine for a moment that you are a river. No matter how long you flowed in one direction, you always have the freedom to carve a new path. That is the essence of life, the perpetual opportunity to change, to adapt, and to redefine yourself. In this moment, you are free to let go of everything you thought defined you. You are not bound by who you were 5 minutes ago. This is the freedom of reinvention. We often hold on to an image of ourselves built from years of labels and expectations, some self-imposed, others handed to us by society. But who you were yesterday doesn't have to dictate who you are today. You are not a fixed entity. You are a flowing, evolving being, constantly transforming with each new thought, each new decision. The idea that we must remain consistent, that we owe loyalty to our past selves, is a myth that stifles growth. Why remain in a mold that no longer fits? Rebuilding yourself is the ultimate act of self-love and courage. It's the moment you realize that you don't need anyone's permission to change. The world may try to tether you to your past, to a version of yourself that is familiar and predictable. But your power lies in the ability to say, that is no longer who I am. You are free to shed the layers of outdated beliefs and emerge as something entirely new again and again, as many times as it takes. This freedom, however, requires trust. Trust that you don't need to have all the answers, that the unknown is not something to fear, but to embrace. When you rebuild yourself, you're not starting from scratch, you're starting from experience, from wisdom gained through every trial and triumph. Each time you let go of who you were, you create space for something greater to emerge. You allow yourself to align not with what others expect, but with what feels true to you. Rebuilding is not about erasing your past, it's about honoring it as part of your journey while refusing to let it define your future. It is the conscious choice to step into the infinite possibilities of who you can become. Life is not a script you must follow, it is a blank page you can rewrite at any moment. With every breath, you have the power to decide, will you remain the same? Or will you evolve into someone who reflects the dreams and desires you hold now? So, take this moment. Look at it not as a continuation of what was, but as the beginning of what could be. You are free to let go, free to reinvent, free to become. There are no rules, no limits, only the boundless creativity of your spirit. This is your freedom to rebuild yourself and step into the life you truly deserve. Rebuilding yourself is not about fixing something that's broken, it's about rediscovering the brilliance that has always been within you. You are not a problem to solve, you are a masterpiece in progress. Often we approach life with the belief that we need to be mended, that our flaws and failures define us. But the act of rebuilding is not to achieve perfection, but to realign with your true nature. Imagine a sculptor with a block of marble. They do not see the marble as imperfect, they see the form within, waiting to be revealed. Every chip, every strike of the chisel is not destruction, but creation. You are the sculptor of your own life, and every experience, whether joyful or painful, is shaping the masterpiece that is you. When you rebuild, you are not starting over, you are refining, rediscovering, and unveiling the beauty that was always there. Rebuilding yourself is an act of self-acceptance. It means understanding that your worth is not diminished by the challenges you face or the mistakes you've made. Those moments of struggle are not signs of weakness, they are the fires that forge your strength. Like gold purified in the heat, you emerge from life's trials not as something damaged, but as something more vibrant, more resilient, more alive. This process is not about chasing an ideal version of yourself or meeting the expectations of others. It's about aligning with your own truth, your own rhythm. Life isn't a competition or a race, it's a dance. And the only step that matters is the one you take next. When you rebuild yourself, you are not looking for validation from the outside world. Instead, you are reconnecting with the wisdom and power that already exist within you. Do not fear the cracks in your armor, for they are where the light enters. Your imperfections are not flaws, they are the unique strokes of your life's painting. Every scar, every stumble, every misstep is a brushstroke that adds depth and texture to your story. Rebuilding is not about erasing those marks, but embracing them, seeing them as proof of your journey, your growth, your humanity. So when you choose to rebuild yourself, do it with love and compassion. See it as a celebration of your strength, your courage, and your infinite potential. Know that you are not broken. You are evolving, expanding, and becoming more fully yourself. This is your journey, and it is already magnificent. Rebuilding isn't about fixing who you are, it's about revealing who you've always been. To rebuild yourself is to peel back the layers of expectations that have been placed upon you by society, by family, by peers, and discover who you truly are beneath it all. It is an act of rebellion, not against the world, but against the constraints that prevent you from living authentically. We become trapped in the stories others have written for us, forgetting that we are the authors of our own lives. From the moment we are born, the world tries to define us. Be this. Do that. Follow these rules, we are given labels, told who we should be, and measured by standards that often have nothing to do with our deepest desires or potential. But here's the truth, those labels and expectations are not who you are. They are borrowed identities, and they can be set down at any moment. To rebuild yourself is to strip away the false narratives and ask, who am I really? This process isn't easy. It takes courage to step away from what's familiar, to disappoint others' expectations, and to face the unknown. But what's the alternative? To live a life dictated by others' dreams? To silence your own voice so others feel comfortable? No, rebuilding yourself means reclaiming your voice, your choices, your life. It's about saying, I am no longer willing to be what the world expects I will be, who I am meant to be. When you break free from these expectations, you begin to see the vastness of your potential. You realize that the limitations you've been living within were never real. They were constructs designed to keep you small, to keep you safe. But safety and growth cannot coexist. To rebuild yourself is to venture into the unknown with the faith that your true self will emerge stronger, freer, and more vibrant than ever before. Rebuilding also means letting go of the need for approval. The truth is, not everyone will understand or support your transformation. That's okay. Your journey is not theirs to dictate or even to comprehend. Alan Watts often spoke of the beauty of individual freedom, of living life as a dance, not a performance. You don't need an audience. You only need the courage to move to your own rhythm. So, peel back the layers. Let go of the roles that no longer serve you. Rebuilding yourself is not about fitting into the world's mold. It's about breaking it entirely and creating a life that reflects your deepest truths. It's about becoming not what others expect, but who you were always meant to be. The world doesn't need another copy, it needs the authentic, unapologetic version of you. Step into that freedom. Rebuild yourself and watch how the world transforms in response to your light. Life is a constant teacher, and its lessons often come through challenge and change. Rebuilding yourself is not about resisting these forces, it's about learning from them. Nature offers the perfect metaphor for this truth. A tree stripped bare in autumn does not despair the loss of its leaves. Instead, it prepares quietly for renewal, knowing that spring will bring fresh growth. A river does not fear the rocks in its path, it flows over, around, and through them, carving new channels and creating beauty in its persistence. You, too, are part of this natural cycle, shaped not by ease, but by endurance. When you face adversity, it may feel as though the world is working against you, as though you are being broken. To rebuild yourself, you must first let go of what no longer serves you: old habits, limiting beliefs, toxic relationships. These things may have brought you comfort once, but like the leaves of autumn, they must fall to make way for new growth. The challenges you encounter are not setbacks, they are sculptors chipping away at the marble to reveal the masterpiece within. Every difficulty you face is an opportunity to become more resilient, more adaptable, more aligned with your true self. Pain, while uncomfortable, is a powerful teacher. It forces you to pause, reflect, and recalibrate. It is in these moments of struggle that you discover the depth of your strength and the boundlessness of your spirit. Do not fear the storms of life, for they are what make the roots grow deeper. When the winds of change come, you may sway, you may even bend, but you will not break. Instead, you will emerge stronger, more grounded, more attuned to the rhythm of the universe. Rebuilding yourself is not a sign of weakness, it is the ultimate expression of resilience. It is the courage to adapt, to evolve, to continue forward, even when the path is unclear. Remember that nature does not rush, yet everything is accomplished. The tree does not sprout new leaves overnight, and the river does not carve its course in a day. Likewise, rebuilding yourself is a process, a journey of patience and trust. Trust that every challenge has a purpose, that every obstacle is shaping you into a more complete version of yourself. So embrace the lessons life offers. See each challenge not as a roadblock, but as a stepping stone. Allow yourself to be molded by experience, not as something diminished, but as something expanded. Rebuilding yourself is an act of harmony with the natural order of life, a process of renewal, growth, and becoming. You are not a victim of circumstance, you are a force of nature, capable of transforming every difficulty into a triumph. Let this truth guide you as you rebuild, stronger and more radiant than ever before. Change is the essence of life. Everything around you is in motion: stars in the sky, waves in the ocean, even the cells in your body. Nothing remains static, and yet so often we resist change. We cling to the familiar, even when it no longer serves us, out of fear of the unknown. To rebuild yourself, you must embrace change, not as an enemy, but as an ally guiding you toward growth. Think of a caterpillar transforming into a butterfly. In its cocoon, it dissolves completely, becoming something unrecognizable before emerging with wings. The caterpillar doesn't fight this process, it surrenders to it, trusting that on the other side of transformation lies something extraordinary. You too are capable of this kind of metamorphosis. To rebuild yourself, you must be willing to let go of what you were to make space for what you can become. The fear of change often comes from the illusion of control. We believe that if we hold on tightly to what we know, we can keep life predictable and safe. But life is inherently unpredictable. Clinging to the past or resisting change only creates suffering. When you release the need to control every outcome, you free yourself to flow with life's natural rhythm. You begin to see change not as a threat, but as an opportunity, a doorway to something greater. Rebuilding yourself is not about avoiding change, it is about leaning into it with curiosity and courage. Yes, there will be uncertainty, and yes, there will be discomfort, but these are the companions of transformation. Like waves reshaping the shoreline, change can be powerful and overwhelming, but it also creates something entirely new. The key is to trust the process, to know that even in the turbulence, you are being guided toward a deeper alignment with your true self. When you embrace change, you step into your power. You become adaptable, resilient, and open to new experiences. You stop seeing change as something that happens to you and start seeing it as something that happens for you. Every shift, every transition is an invitation to rebuild yourself, to shed old layers and step closer to the person you are meant to be. So, let go of your fear. Let go of the need for everything to remain the same. The beauty of life lies in its impermanence, in its capacity to surprise and transform. When you rebuild yourself, you are not fighting against the flow of life, you are moving with it, co-creating something extraordinary. Embrace change as a partner in your journey, and you will find that the act of rebuilding is not a struggle, but a liberation. It is the path to becoming the most authentic, empowered version of yourself. Rebuilding yourself is not about chasing perfection, it's about pursuing passion. Perfection is a mirage, an unattainable ideal that keeps you trapped in a cycle of dissatisfaction. Passion, on the other hand, is real, tangible, and transformative. It is the fire within you, the force that brings your spirit to life. To rebuild yourself is to abandon the endless pursuit of flawlessness and instead ignite the spark of your authentic passions. Imagine a musician who plays not to impress an audience, but because the act of creating music fills them with joy. They are not bound by the need to hit every note perfectly. Their focus is on the energy, the rhythm, the sheer love of the art. This is how life is meant to be lived, not as a performance, but as an expression of your innermost self. When you rebuild yourself, you are not constructing a flawless version of who you think you should be. You are discovering and nurturing the things that set your soul on fire. Chasing perfection often leads to stagnation because it is rooted in fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of not being enough. But passion is rooted in love. When you follow your passions, you stop worrying about the outcome and start enjoying the journey. You allow yourself to take risks, to explore, to create without the pressure of being perfect. In doing so, you tap into a limitless source of energy and inspiration. To rebuild yourself is to ask, what makes me feel alive? It's about reconnecting with the activities, dreams, and ideas that resonate deeply with you. Maybe it's painting, writing, teaching, traveling, or helping others. Whatever it is, let it guide you. Passion is not about being the best, it's about being fully present and engaged. It's about doing something simply because it brings you joy and meaning. When you align with your passions, you radiate authenticity, and the world responds. You inspire others not by being perfect, but by being real, by showing what it looks like to live with purpose and enthusiasm. Rebuilding yourself around your passions transforms not only your life, but the lives of those around you. It creates a ripple effect of positivity and possibility. So let go of the need to impress. Stop striving for a version of yourself that others deem acceptable. Instead, focus on what brings you fulfillment. Perfection is static, but passion is alive, ever-changing, and limitless. In rebuilding yourself, prioritize what lights you up inside. When you do, you won't just rebuild, you will transform into a force of nature, driven by purpose and overflowing with the energy to create, to love, and to live fully. Rebuilding yourself means reclaiming your story. Too often we live as if our lives are being written by someone else, as if the world, our circumstances, or the people around us are holding the pen. To rebuild yourself is to realize that no matter where you are or what has happened, you have the power to create a new chapter. Life will try to convince you otherwise. It will tell you that the script is set, that your past mistakes, your limitations, or your circumstances define who you are. But this is only true if you let it be. The story of your life is not carved in stone, it is written in the flowing ink of possibility. Each moment is a blank page, and you hold the pen. You are free to rewrite your narrative as many times as it takes to align with the person you truly want to be. The first step is letting go of the labels and stories you've accepted without question. Perhaps you've been told you're not smart enough, you're too old, you've failed too many times. These are not facts, they are simply lines in a story that someone else wrote. To rebuild yourself is to challenge these narratives and replace them with your own truth. It's about saying, I am not defined by what others think of me. I am defined by who I choose to become. Rebuilding is not about erasing your past, it's about reframing it. Every hardship, every mistake, every detour has brought you wisdom and strength. These experiences are not burdens, they are chapters that have shaped you, but they do not have to dictate the rest of your story. You have the power to take the lessons you've learned and use them as tools to create a future that reflects your deepest desires and dreams. Writing your own story requires courage. It means stepping into the unknown and making decisions that may go against what others expect of you. It means taking responsibility for your life, not as a burden, but as an opportunity. When you rebuild yourself, you stop waiting for permission or approval. You realize that you are the only author who matters, and you have the freedom to create a life that feels authentic and fulfilling. So pick up the pen and start writing. Imagine the story you want to live, the relationships, the work, the adventures, the impact you want to have. Don't hold back. Let your imagination run wild. Then, with each decision you make, take one small step toward that vision. The beauty of life is that the story is never finished until it's over. And as long as you're here, you have the power to rewrite it. Rebuilding yourself is not about being a victim of your past or your circumstances. It's about becoming the author of your future. Write boldly, live authentically, and remember, the best stories are the ones where the hero rises, transforms, and inspires others to do the same. Let that hero be you. Rebuilding yourself requires the courage to trust in the unfolding of your life, even when it feels uncertain, even when the path ahead is unclear. The essence of being is not in knowing the future, but in embracing the present moment and trusting that everything is unfolding as it should. When you rebuild yourself, you are not trying to force a particular outcome or cling to a rigid plan. You are learning to flow with the current of life, to trust that you are being guided toward exactly what you need. In a world that often glorifies control, we forget that there is an immense power in surrender. To surrender is not to give up or to resign yourself to passivity. It is to release the need to control every aspect of your life and instead trust in the natural flow of events. When you rebuild yourself, you stop holding on to the illusion that you can control everything. You trust that life will bring you the lessons, opportunities, and relationships you need for growth, even if they don't appear in the exact form you expected. Think about the seasons. No matter how much you wish to delay winter or extend summer, the seasons change on their own terms. They follow a rhythm, a cycle that you cannot force. In the same way, your personal transformation follows its own rhythm. Sometimes it may feel like you are in a season of dormancy, a period of rest and reflection. Other times you may feel a burst of growth, a surge of energy and creativity. Both are essential to your journey. Rebuilding yourself means allowing for both the periods of stillness and the moments of progress, trusting that both are part of the greater whole. Trusting the process also means releasing the pressure to be somewhere other than where you are right now. We often get so focused on where we want to be in life that we forget to appreciate the beauty of the moment we are currently in. Rebuilding yourself means being present with where you are, knowing that this moment is necessary for your growth. There is wisdom to be found in every stage of the journey, whether it is a time of challenge or ease. Trusting the process is about acknowledging that you are exactly where you need to be, and from this place you will continue to evolve. When you trust in the process, you also learn to trust yourself. You no longer question your decisions or second-guess your path. You begin to recognize that you are an integral part of the flow of life, and that everything you need, strength, wisdom, courage, is already within you. Rebuilding yourself is about discovering this inner trust, this deep knowing that you are capable of handling whatever comes your way. It is about moving forward with faith, even when the outcome is uncertain, knowing that life's unfolding will bring you exactly what you need in the perfect timing. So trust the process of rebuilding yourself. Let go of the need for perfection, for control, for certainty. Life will guide you just as the river carves its path through the landscape. There will be twists and turns, rapids and still waters, but ultimately you will arrive at a place that is right for you. You are not a passive bystander in your journey. You are a participant in the unfolding of something beautiful. Trust that every step, every choice, Every moment is a necessary part of your transformation. And as you trust, you will find that life begins to unfold with grace, ease, and purpose, leading you exactly where you need to go. Rebuilding yourself is a profound invitation to reconnect with your true essence, to remember who you are beyond the layers of conditioning, expectations, and external judgments. In a world that often tells us to look outward for answers, you are already complete, whole, and infinitely capable. The process of rebuilding is not about adding something to yourself, but about removing the false ideas that have kept you disconnected from your authentic self. Many of us spend years searching for validation, looking for approval, hoping that external success will somehow make us feel whole. But as Watts often pointed out, external achievements are fleeting. The approval of others, the accolades, the material success, these things come and go. What truly endures is the connection you have with your own being. To rebuild yourself means to stop seeking fulfillment in the world and to begin finding it within. It is about looking deeply into the mirror of your own soul and remembering the truth that you are already whole. When you reconnect with your inner self, you begin to realize that you are not defined by your past mistakes or your current circumstances. These things are part of your story, yes, but they do not dictate who you are. Your true essence is timeless, boundless, and free. The stories you tell yourself about who you are and who you should be are often shaped by fears and limitations that are not yours to carry. Rebuilding yourself means peeling back these layers and returning to a state of pure presence, a state of being where you are not limited by past identities, but open to the infinite possibilities of who you can become. This inner knowing is not a distant or abstract concept. It is the quiet, unwavering voice that lives within you, the voice that whispers truths that are often drowned out by the noise of the world. When you rebuild yourself, you learn to listen to this voice with trust and clarity. You begin to distinguish between the voice of fear, which seeks to protect you by keeping you small, and the voice of your soul, which urges you to take risks, to grow, to evolve into the fullest expression of yourself. In order to reconnect with this deeper part of you, it's necessary to practice mindfulness, to cultivate presence in each moment. When you are fully present, you are able to see the world and yourself with fresh eyes, unclouded by judgment or expectations. This is where the real rebuilding takes place, not through striving or forcing, but through surrender and stillness. By being fully present, you allow yourself to experience life as it is, without resistance. You begin to see that all of your experiences, both joyous and painful, are part of the larger tapestry of your growth and transformation. Rebuilding yourself is also about embracing the paradox of life, that everything is both within you and beyond you, that you are both the creator and the creation. It is about stepping into the dance of existence, knowing that you are constantly changing, constantly evolving. Each moment is an opportunity to realign with your highest self, to live authentically, to express your unique essence in the world. This is not a destination to reach, but a continuous journey of unfolding and becoming. So, as you rebuild yourself, remember that you are not creating something new. You are rediscovering the truth of who you are and allowing that truth to guide you. You are already enough. You are already whole. Trust in the process, trust in your own wisdom, and trust that with each step you are becoming more fully yourself. The journey of rebuilding is the journey of remembering, of reconnecting with the infinite power and beauty that reside within you, waiting to be expressed in the world. And as you rebuild, you will not only transform your own life, but inspire others to do the same. You will become a living example of what is possible when you reconnect with your true essence and live with authenticity and purpose. In the end, rebuilding yourself is not a task you must approach with force or urgency. It is an invitation to return to your natural state, a state of openness, freedom, and limitless potential. You are not broken, you are in the process of unfolding, just like the seasons, just like the stars, just like the very earth beneath your feet. The life you seek is not out there somewhere, waiting for you to discover it. It is within you, always has been, and always will be. The only thing you must do is allow yourself to reconnect with it, to trust the rhythm of life, and to step into the flow of your own unique path. You don't need to wait for some perfect moment or for everything to align perfectly. You are the moment. Every choice you make, every step you take, is a part of the ongoing process of becoming. So stop striving for perfection. Stop chasing approval. Stop believing that you are incomplete or that you must fit into someone else's mold. You are the artist, the creator, the author of your own life. You are the one who gets to choose how to rebuild, to recreate, to evolve. When you rebuild yourself, you are not just changing your circumstances, you are embracing your inherent power to transform at the deepest level. You are releasing the need to control and trusting that life will unfold as it should, with you in the driver's seat, ready to embrace every twist and turn. With every challenge, you gain wisdom. With every setback, you gain strength. And with every step forward, you rediscover the truth that you are capable of anything. The process of rebuilding is ongoing. It does not have a final destination because you are always in the process of becoming. There is no finish line because you are the masterpiece still being crafted. So be patient with yourself. Honor the journey. Trust that you are exactly where you need to be, and know that the power to transform, to rebuild, to grow is within you at every moment. And as you continue to rebuild yourself, you will find that it is not about becoming someone new, but about uncovering the person you always were whole, powerful, and limitless. The world needs you to show up, to be you, unapologetically, authentically. It's not just your transformation that matters, it's the ripple effect it will have on everyone around you. You inspire others simply by being true to yourself. So step forward with courage, trust in the process, rebuild yourself not just in the external world, but in the depths of your soul. You are not defined by your past. You are not bound by your mistakes. You are not limited by what others say or think. You are free to create, free to evolve, and free to become the fullest, most authentic version of yourself. The journey is yours to take. The power to rebuild, to transform, to rise is yours to claim. And as you do, you will realize that the most beautiful thing you can do is to live fully, live truthfully, and live as the unique expression of life that you are,